The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Thanks, Kevin. And President Biden will deliver an update today on the U.S. response to the Omicron variant of COVID-19, already spreading in dozens of countries. The president met with his COVID experts over the weekend, who are urging vaccines and booster shots as the best line of defense.
Countries around the world are imposing travel restrictions in hope of curbing infections. 17's Chris Burton is in studio this morning with more. Chris?
Well, Alex, relatively little is known about the Omicron variant at this point, but officials are still getting a jump on planning for possible cases in the U.S. While the variant was first identified and sequenced in South Africa, its country of origin is unknown and its transmission rate is concerning officials.
President Biden is expected to give an update today on the Omicron variant of COVID-19, the latest variant to raise scientists' concern worldwide.
I'm having a meeting with my medical team. As I get back to the White House, I'll have more to say.
Now, Japan and Morocco have joined Israel in restricting all international travel as more countries impose bans on travel from southern Africa. Cases of the variant have popped up from Portugal to the Netherlands to Canada. While there are no confirmed cases in the U.S. yet, top medical experts say its spread should serve as a wake-up call.
This is a clarion call, as far as I'm concerned, of saying let's put aside all of these differences that we have and say, if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you're fully vaccinated, get boosted.
Fauci saying it will likely take 2 weeks to fully understand the threat Omicron poses, though experts worry it could be more transmissible than any variant we've seen so far. In South Africa, where the variant was first identified, health officials urge calm and caution.
There's no reason for panicking, as we don't see severely ill patients.
But experts agree Omicron is worth keeping a close eye on. As of Friday, the World Health Organization deems the strain a variant of concern, the same classification as the Delta variant that fueled surges worldwide.
Yesterday, Moderna announced it would know more about its vaccine's efficacy against the Omicron variant in the coming weeks. And if necessary, it could tweak the vaccine to combat Omicron specifically by early next year. In studio, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. And now to a look at the latest coronavirus cases here in Kern County. New numbers have not been released since Wednesday due to Thanksgiving, but on Wednesday, Public Health reported 12 more deaths. We also learned of another 253 people who had been infected with the virus. Hospitalizations continue to drop. The latest state data shows 143 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms. 27 more are in the ICU. We're expecting another update today on how many people were infected during the Thanksgiving holiday. And here's a look back at the last week's numbers. Public Health learned the virus has stolen 18 lives. We also learned an average of 355 people were infected with the virus each day. An average of 151 people were in the hospital with more severe symptoms, while an average of 30 people were fighting for their lives in local ICUs. Public Health says more than 92% of people catching the virus and going to the hospital here in Kern County are not vaccinated.
Earlier this month, the city of Los Angeles implemented some of the nation's strictest COVID vaccine verification rules. And starting today, actual enforcement of the sweeping mandate will begin. Under the ordinance, those 12 and older living in or visiting LA and hoping to visit indoor restaurants, gyms, entertainment, as well as personal care businesses will need to show proof of full vaccination against COVID-19. Malls and shopping centers were taken off the list of indoor locations that must check proof of COVID-19 vaccination. Store owners will be able to accept a CDC vaccination card, a scan or photograph of the card on a mobile device, or a digital vaccination record given out by the state.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, sheriff's deputies are investigating a shooting that left a 16-year-old hospitalized yesterday afternoon. Deputies were called to the area of Pacific Street and Orange Drive just after 1 p.m. for a shooting. KCSO says the 16-year-old boy was taken to the hospital but is expected to survive. The suspected gunman ran away following the shooting.
A local restaurant is thanking the community after a thief who broke into their building was taken into custody. The robbery was caught on camera. It happened at Moo Creamery around 8 o'clock Thanksgiving night. No one was in the building, but the thief ended up leaving with an iPad and 2 internet access points.
5:32 is our time now, and maybe you've seen the decals. 1392. That is the badge number of a sheriff's deputy lost in the line of duty this past summer. The family of Philip Campus will, of course, never forget him. They just hope the rest of us don't. Jesse and Christine Campus spoke about their son with 17's Robert Price.
Most of us probably associate the name Philip Campus with the Kern County Sheriff's Department SWAT team. That was Philip's job, the job he was doing on July 25th when he tried to save a family from a gunman. Well, that was his job, but it wasn't who he was.
Philip Campus was a family man, a friend, his dad's fishing and bow hunting buddy, the guy who'd taken over the task of cooking the Thanksgiving turkey every year.
So I've been cooking ever since I was in junior high, at least the turkey, and then now he does everything, so I don't have to do it, so now I gotta go back and start doing it again.
That's Jesse Campus, a former Marine who was infinitely proud of his former Marine son, as was his wife, Philip's mother, Christine Campus.
Sergeant Philip Campus, Deputy, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines Company.
Their son was a disciplined first responder who also had a talent for training others.
Don't get us wrong, we're not trying to paint him as an angel. If you had went to maybe an academy where he was an instructor, watch out, he'd let you have it. After he let you have it, then he would bring you back up and make sure you had learned what you were taught, and he would help you be better at what you were doing. That's why he's touched so many people.
Philip was killed while trying to rescue a Wasco family whose mentally ill husband and father was threatening them with a handgun and a semi-automatic rifle.
Campus was shot while making a charge towards the Ramirez family home. Jose Manuel Ramirez Jr. also killed his wife and his 2 sons before he was killed himself.
This is like it happened the other day. That's why it's just tough.
Philip's parents, who live in Northeast Bakersfield, don't dwell on their son's bravery. 4 months after their son's death, they and their daughter Adriana still take solace in the community's outpouring of grief and support. But the expressions of sympathy and love don't fill the holes in their hearts.
You know, it was comforting. It reached a lot of people and good things came out of it. But it doesn't bring our son back.
Some days are better than others.
Emotions come in waves. It's either a foot wave or it's a tidal wave. You never know.
Reminders of their son's life are everywhere in the family home. On the walls, on the tables, keepsakes, family photos.
This was a gift to his dad for Father's Day, and we still have that guitar.
They treasured the mementos, ordinary fragments of life that have taken on new significance, like this number 11 football jersey from his playing days at East Bakersfield High School.
Or these photos from his days as an instructor for the Devil Pups, an organization that helps prepare teens for the U.S. Marines.
Or these words on the living room wall, the tribute wall, dedicated to their son.
Thank God we have a lot of walls in this house. Because we have a lot of pictures. I'm a picture mom. We have a story. We have his legacy to live on. And these pictures will tell it. And we'll tell it.
Like they're telling it today.
Things are so different now, but we will hold on to our family and our grandkids and our daughter-in-law and our daughters. We will keep it going because I know that's what he would want.
The Campus family isn't asking anybody for anything except for one thing. Remember Philip Campus. At the Kern County Sheriff's Memorial Wall, Robert Price, 17 News.
And now to Kern's sober reality. We now know the name of the woman accused of causing a crash that left 3 people dead Friday morning on Weed Patch Highway. California Highway Patrol says that 38-year-old Marcia Luquellison of Lamont was driving south when her vehicle crossed into the northbound lanes and hit another car. The driver of the northbound car was killed along with Luquellison's 2 passengers. CHP says Luquellison was drunk. She was taken to the hospital with major injuries and placed under arrest.
Meantime, 1 person is dead and another is seriously hurt after a crash in North Bakersfield yesterday. It happened on Golden State Avenue at Q Street. BPD says the driver of an SUV slammed into the side of a pickup just after 12:45 in the afternoon. The passenger of the pickup was killed. Police say the driver of the SUV was not hurt and drugs or alcohol do not appear to be factors in this crash.
After a 2-year hiatus, KGET is once again partnering up with Houchin Community Blood Bank for the 14th annual community-wide blood drive. The drive this year will be held to ensure that our local blood banks are full this holiday season. The drive kicks off Wednesday, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. right outside of our studios at 22nd and L Streets. It runs the entire month of December. All donors will also be entered to win a $1,500 gift certificate redeemable for a trip to Big Bear, as well as a $100 gas gift card and $150 Visa gift card for food and souvenirs while you're there. So we hope you come out.
Yeah, and don't forget, we also have our coat drive that's going on right now
right.
until December 22nd.
Welcome back here at 549, making news around the nation. AAA estimates that more than 50 million Americans traveled over the long Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Most made the return trip home on yesterday. Airports are seeing up to double the number of passengers as the same time last year. Experts chalk this up to vaccines becoming widely available, as well as fatigue from COVID fear. According to AAA estimates, more than 4 million people will have flown for Thanksgiving. It was crowded on the roads as well. AAA estimates about 48 million Americans took road trips despite high gas prices.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.